Okay, this is question 35. You're given that AB and BC are both 2. So that whole thing is 2. And from A to B, this whole thing is 2. You're told that E and F are the midpoints of their respective sides, which means that these little pieces are 1, 1, 1, and 1. Now, when I've got overlapping triangles or shapes like this and it's difficult to see what's going on, I separate them out. Okay, so I'm going to make this is C, B, F. And I know that this has side lengths 1 and 2. And then I'm going to do the other triangle, which is kind of longer. Obviously not to scale, 90 degrees, because B is the same angle in both. This is A, B, E. Okay, and for this one, I know that this bottom side is 2 and the upright is 1. Excuse me. All right, so what I need to do is figure out the question. It's asking for this angle FDE. That's this angle right here. Well, we don't have, by the way, sneak attack, this is trig. This is SOHCAHTOA. And you know that because there are no angle measures except for 90-degree angles, okay, and it's right triangles. Trig, triangle, that's where it comes from. And so you know you're going to have to use trig, but you'll notice that these triangles, ADF and CDE, those triangles aren't right triangles, which is why I took the other 2 triangles. But whenever you're given side lengths and then you're asked a question about angles, you're going to have to do an inverse trig function. Okay, so looking at these, it looks like it's essentially going to be close to the same trig function that you're going to use as well, but this angle right here, angle DEF, is the one that it wants me to find. Let me just show you a little better right here, angle DEF. And this is how I'm going to do it. Because this is a 4-sided figure, the sum of all of the interior angles is going to be 360 degrees. Okay, 90 of that you already have because you know that B is a right angle. So if you look at E and F, because those are angles of these two right triangles, so E, which is right here, and F, which is right there, if I had those 2 angles, then I would have 3 of the 4 angles that have to add up to 360 degrees, which means I could subtract from 360 and find that angle FDE that I am requested to find. So that's what I'm going to do. Keep in mind that the angle that you want, okay, I always put little people there because opposite and adjacent, these are dependent upon where you're standing. And so you have to remember that your perspective is from the perspective of the angle that you either have or you're looking for, the angle that you're using, okay? So looking at this little man, if he's looking right there, that is not a hypotenuse, first of all, the 2. It is opposite him. So opposite. And then if you look right here, that is also not a hypotenuse. It is touching the angle, and so that's adjacent. That means that you're using tangent here. So the tangent of x is equal to opposite over adjacent. Okay, and so you will isolate the x here by doing the inverse tangent of both sides. And the inverse tangent, which is, we use the little -1 symbol, but it means inverse tangent of 2 over 1. These cancel, and x is equal to the inverse tangent of 2. All right, so let's pick up the calculator. Okay, so I've got the calculator here. I want to talk to you very quickly about this button right here. Okay, let me just open up a calculator again for you so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. When you open up the calculator, it defaults to radians. That is bad for these problems where you need degree measures, okay? And so what you have to do, and let me show you how you can tell. The tangent of 45 degrees is equal to 1. Just know that, memorize that, because here's what you can do. If you aren't 100% sure, if the calculator's in the correct mode, do the inverse tangent of 1. This calculator, because the buttons are so tiny, it doesn't know how to use it. It can't do an exponent that looks like a -1. They write inverse tangent like this, tan, and you're going to put a 1 in there. So back to the calculator again. If I thought I was in the right mode, but I'm not sure, I would go, okay, math, go to trig. It changes the tabs for you. I'm going to do tan of 1. I should get 45. I did not get 45. If I don't get 45 with the inverse tangent of 1, that's a test to let you know I am in the wrong mode. Okay? So, do it again. Inverse tangent of 1, it's 45 degrees. Okay? All right, so what we're looking for, though, is not the inverse tangent of 1. It's the inverse tangent of 2. And before you say, oh, well, it must be 90, no, it's not. They're not ratios like that, okay? So you're going to do here, inverse tangent of 2, okay? Going back here, every time I have to open this calculator up again, I have to do it again, degrees, okay? And trig is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do the inverse tangent of 2 and enter. And that's about 63.43 degrees. Okay, x is about equal to 63.43 degrees. Okay, now the second one, remember you're this guy right here. Okay, and you might actually see something a little strange here because to you that's opposite and that's adjacent. So let's make that y. Tangent of y is equal to opposite over adjacent. Does this look familiar? If you inverse tangent both sides, y is equal to the inverse tangent of 2. Well, you already did that. Okay, you just now did that, and that was about 63.43 degrees. So you know that this one is 63.43 or 63.4, let's just, and 63.4. So let's add those up. 63.4 plus 63.4 plus 90 is going to equal to 8, 6, that's 15 to 216.8. And now do 360.0 minus 216.8, and you will get 10, 9, 5. Making sure that's right. Yeah. So that's 1, 4, 3, 2. 143.2 degrees is the angle measure of right there. It said to the nearest degree. So I'm getting 143, and that is B.